Welcome back to the group chat.
Nathan Marshall with the Crusaders. Scott Robinson. Scott Robinson.
Close, rep straight off.
Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya, John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva.
Welcome back to the group chat for another episode. As you can tell, we are back to normal, back in our cozy little positions we've got here. And Phil is joining me in studio once again. He's come back from his trip over the ditch. Welcome back. How we doing? What's happening?
Well, what a treat. It's clearly evident that Queensland doesn't have a winter, so that's good. They'll happily complain about the cold, but the cold doesn't really exist. 20 degrees and come back to NZ and it's about half. So, actually, what was it, like 4 degrees this morning?
Yeah, 2.5 when I was driving to work this morning. Had to de-ice the windscreen.
I hope you used the extra hot water.
Boom.
Shatter.
I was talking to the guys in Queensland on Friday, and they were like, yeah, it's freezing. They had the beanies on and the jackets on. Oh, yeah, what's the temperature? It's 15, 16 degrees this morning. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 0 degrees when I walked to the train this morning.
Yeah.
So do one. Take your beanie off. You're in shorts and T-shirt weather.
Yeah. Sunshine Coast was 21. It was cold like overnight, I'll admit that.
Yeah, okay.
When the sun went, the heat went. But when the sun was out, 21, swimming in the pool. So, not doing that here.
I don't like the fact that they don't have daylight saving, though. Like, the sun comes up at 6 a.m., but it's gone by 5 o'clock.
Yeah, the sun was up nice and early.
Depends what kind of person you are.
it,
But as not a morning person, I don't like that the sun's up early and goes early. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you would rather have dark in the morning and dark when you get home from work?
Well,
Because that's what we're dealing with in Wellington. So.
That is true. When you put it that way, that is true. Anyway, we had an action-packed weekend. The All Blacks with their first test match of the season against the French D side, but turned out to be actually pretty good.
Very good B side.
Yeah, their fullback was very good. I'm not going to say names because names aren't.
Forward pack was really strong.
Who was the winger as well?
Their number 8. My goodness, the number 8 was massive.
The both wingers actually. There's that one who his father is an expat Kiwi. So he's got ties to New Zealand. But then the other winger, that got the yellow card, he was a menace just the whole time.
The headgear.
Was
it Strati or something?
I thought they played pretty well and like kind of what we expected, a team that wanted to prove themselves and were hungry to beat the All Blacks and show what they're made of. And I thought they did that. For sure.
Do you want to talk about that more? Or you want to...
We'll get into it a little bit. But F1 over the weekend, Silverstone, celebrating the 75th year of the sport where it all started. So that was a big one. Not a very big one for our boy Liam Lawson.
Big one for who was it? Hulkenberg.
Hulkenberg.
What was that? What he came from? He came from 19th.
19th
in the
to
grid.
3rd. Yeah. Hell of an effort there.
Sheesh.
What else happened? NRL. There's a bit of NRL, but I can't say a lot because I had maybe 4 players in my fantasy team play this week.
Yeah, I had 3 or 4.
Yeah. But some good games nonetheless.
Yep.
Nonetheless.
Oh, how on earth are the Tigers beating the Roosters?
Yeah, wow.
Also, Cowboys and the Storm was a super close game, and obviously the Broncos come back from 18-0. I watched that game live. That was, that was crazy.
Live?
Yeah.
Like, you were there?
No, like live.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
In real time.
Yeah, and real time on the telly.
I was not in Sydney.
On the telly. You didn't drive. How long would the drive be, Sydney? At least 6 hours, surely.
More?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because it was in Canterbury, wasn't it? Canterbury country.
Oh, yeah. Nothing, Calvin. Jeez Louise. Toby Sexton gone. He's going to Super League end of the season.
Really? I didn't see that.
Reid Marnie's going to... Was it Dragons? No. He's going somewhere. Maybe Cowboys, actually.
One thing that I didn't note down, but I did really like in the NRL and actually in the AFL, all the tributes to Diego Jota over the weekend of sport. Goals being scored, goals being kicked in the AFL, tries being scored. everyone either doing Jota's PlayStation celebration or holding up the number 20. Thought that was very cool.
Yeah. Even like looking at the Man United like fan pages and stuff, and just across the board, it was a good effort from everyone.
Yeah, I think it's been a good response from the whole sporting community.
Yeah, horrible story.
Very.
Upsetting.
All right, well, we'll move swiftly on from that. And Phil, do you want to take us away with the question for the week since you're back?
Yeah, I guess we can talk about then. We'll talk about Hulkenberg and his podium finish from 19th. There's a little bit of trash talk. I perceived it as trash talk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
And was it Oscar Piastri?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And he's saying, how does it feel to get a Lego trophy after 15 years of F1?
Yeah.
That you could just pull apart and throw in the trash sort of thing. And then to which he says, "Oh no, I love Lego. And my daughter gets to play with it too, so it's perfect." So I guess like in the sport context of trash talks and rebuttals, if we had maybe like a top 3, just off the top of your head, like 3 individual sport stars.
Yep.
Have a bit of the trash talk game.
No, I've got 3. And I think that the top one has got to be Conor McGregor. I don't know if you had that down or not, but Conor McGregor has to be up there with one of the most elite trash talkers, shit talkers in the history of all sports, I'd say. And I think what it comes down to be a good trash talker, you actually have to be smart.
Yeah.
Because
witty. I don't think
smart,
you have to be
witty,
smart.
fast. I think
you have to be witty.
Yeah, you got to be switched on.
Yeah.
And to have comebacks and whatnot.
Know your facts.
I think the thing about Conor, he's got all those viral one-liners or press conferences that he's said, but the favorite one of mine was when he was fighting Floyd Mayweather, and he rocked up to the press conference in his pinstriped suit, but it wasn't pinstriped. It just said "fuck you" all the way down. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you all the way down. And I think it's just the subtle bits of his game. Like that's smart. That's tactical.
Yep.
I think it's the finer pieces for Conor that he probably doesn't get a lot of credit for, because obviously he's loud.
Yeah,
he's very mouthy, and but he backs it up too, which also you have to be able to back it up when you're talking shit.
That's a big factor as well.
For me, Conor number 1. What do you got?
I think it's Conor as well, when he was at his peak and when he was the face of the UFC. And you talked about the Mayweather press conference. That's probably like the best presser of all time. There's not many press conferences and media build-ups where you can say all of the stuff leading up to the fight was actually more entertaining than the fight itself. And that press conference was that. It's crazy, like the energy he can draw with the crowd holding a microphone and the engagement he has with the crowd. It's like second to none.
Yeah.
And again, very witty. His comebacks were always on point.
Yeah.
And even Floyd Mayweather's team, they were cracking up laughing. They couldn't help it. And Floyd pays them racks, and they couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah,
he was just that good, and there's not many people that can do that. I think where you sell out an arena just for like a weigh-in, even.
Yeah.
When he was at his peak, not many people can do that.
He had a microphone in his hand. He just becomes a performer, and everyone, whether you like him or not, you have to respect how he was able to control a crowd and
crazy
get
crowd
responses,
engagement.
but also to be able to get under fighters' skins like he did.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then back it up.
That's part of it. And then being able to back it up, yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, what do you do?
So where you going then?
Well, probably the greatest of all time, with some of the most famous quotes of all time.
Yeah.
That's Muhammad Ali.
Oh. It's all in the fight game,
champ. Yep. A lot from the fight game, obviously. He's kind of like a poet of trash talk, really. We talk about his famous quotes and sort of all those sort of before Ali, athlete interviews are kind of like formal and tiresome and boring. And he was able to sort of like transform that game. I mean, there was no swearing, there was nothing. He was just a poet of trash talk. And again, he was one of those guys that could definitely back it up. I mean, he said stuff like, if you ever dream of beating me, you better wake up and apologize. He says, he might be great, but he will fall in 8. And this guy just had a way with words. And
he was a poet.
There was nothing coarse.
The Shakespeare of the boxing time.
Indeed, yeah. Which is rare now, because a lot of that stuff is, I mean, even Conor McGregor, it's slurs all over the place.
Oh, yeah. You have to throw in a swear word here or there to make it intimidating somewhat, or,
So to have a formal setting and then still be a trash talker, it's an impressive feat. And
All right. I like it. I'm another one that just fully backed it up and is nicknamed the king of spin, Shane Warne.
Oh.
I mean, on the cricket field, you've got to be witty and smart when you're chirping someone. And
Bloody
Shane
wicketkeepers.
Warne, yeah, wicket keepers are notorious for it, but Shane Warne, because he was just that good, like if he chirped you, there weren't very many people that would chirp back because he just had this respect about him. Or so he would chirp the batters, he would chirp his teammates, he would chirp reporters, the fans, the whole lot. But I think the one that I found that stuck out to me was they were facing South Africa, and the batter's name slips my mind, but Shane Warne, when he went to bowl to him, said, "I've been waiting 2 years to humiliate you in front of your home crowd," which is like having a direct dig at the bloke. But he fires back with, "Well, it looks like you spent the 2 years eating, mate," which. In Shane Warne's credit, he takes it, and like that's part of being a good shit talker too. You got to be able to take it back. So that's where Shane Warne has a lot of respect. So he could take it. 2 overs later, he gets him out, so he's the last laugh. And that's about backing it up. But plenty of shit talking in cricket. I think Shane Warne was the king of it.
Aussies are known for their chirping.
100%.
But Shane Warne, again, one of those individuals that can back himself up.
Yeah.
I've actually got another one outside the fight game as well. Probably one of the few people that can actually get away with it. And the way he went about talking to media and talking about other players, and that's Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, unbelievably iconic and unbelievably arrogant.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone had a major issue because there's not much you can do about it. If Zlatan's talking schmack about you, even Pep Guardiola had to avoid him when he walked into a room. So I don't know if there's many individuals in the football game at this moment now that you can talk to media and players the way he did.
Yeah.
And he was very sure of himself and the way he positioned himself. So
the thing about Zlatan,
and he backs it up. He backs it
and
up.
he talks in the third person as well. He goes like, "Zlatan's gonna kill you," like Zlatan this, Zlatan that. Yeah, go of it, absolutely. My last one I had was Shannon Sharp from the NFL. And I mean, he talks shit on the field, and now he gets paid to talk shit off the field on a TV screen for CBS. So I mean, when you can transition from sport into the media game and you can get paid for what you're saying on TV, is pretty electric. And Shannon Sharp would go after any defensive player that was marking him because he had the ability to cook everyone, and he did, and he knew that, so he let them know. And I mean, guys were calling him ugly, and look, you're looking like a horse ahead of Super Bowl games, and he's just like, "Well, I actually don't care. I mean, I'm not going to get into a pissing competition with a skunk because you're never going to win." So he just goes out and he finds the people that are talking shit, and he goes out there to cook them, and you got to respect that. And then when you turn it into a broadcasting career after, fair play to the guy.
You've done it well.
You've definitely you've climbed the shit talking ladder if you can do that. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the list could go on, really. I mean, there's a lot of NBA players in the mix, I think.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Draymond Green's a good one.
Larry Bird or something was apparently top of his game in his heyday. So
I mean, Michael Jordan, he would talk
him as well. Yeah.
And he would just let everyone know how much better he is than everyone. But that's the thing. Like, it's a condescending kind of shit talking, you know, just like.
It's like a Zlatan.
Yeah.
Zlatan-esque.
Yeah. Did you have one more?
I wouldn't say he's the king of trash talk, but someone who's a bit underrated at the moment in the fight game is DDP. I think he has that witty element.
Yeah, okay.
He doesn't have the same kind of draw as your, McGregor did as the face of the UFC. There's not many that can replace that. Ilia Topuria is trying to be that. He can't be that. Machado Gary's trying to be that. He can't be that. DDP at least has the witty stuff. He has the rebuttal down pack, which is good to see.
He was all class against.
He's all class. He's all class, and he can back up his stuff too.
Yeah, and that's the key to it all. If you talk shit, you got to be able to back it. You got to be able to take it in return, take the shots back, but you got to be able to back it up because there's only so much shit talking you can do, and if you can't back it up with the performances on the field or on the cage, or no one's going to respect you after that.
But it's also good to sort of like when you can bounce back from someone trash talking you. And you hit them with something straight away that's way better than what they do.
Yeah.
That's the levels that McGregor was at.
That's the wittiness and speed about it all.
Yeah.
It's so good. All right. Well, we've got a decent list there. So we might as well move on to the big one of the weekend was that All Blacks France game. All Blacks 31, France 27. Now, I wanted to call it the episode this week. Did we deserve that win? Phil, do you think we deserved the win?
It was weak. Yes. It's also, what was it? I saw something. First team to win 500 tests.
New Zealand?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it 500? I saw the same stat. I just can't remember the number.
500.
Yeah, okay.
So well done. Yeah, definitely.
Wins.
I mean, you factor in the TMO calls and all of that business, the territory, the possession. I thought All Blacks were the better side.
Yeah.
I think France came to play and they played very well. Probably disappointed with their second half where they didn't have much of either of those stats. And when they did have it, they just kicked it away. So probably in areas they could have retained the ball and maybe try to counterattack a little bit. But they defended very well. And guys like Bowden Barrett was on point. Probably, he had 100% conversions in a game that was won by 4 points.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
You needed Barrett to be on point, and he was like vintage Barrett. So, especially with the reshuffle, Severies coming off after like 60 seconds, D-Mac coming on to fullback, Will Jordan goes to wing. I don't think they scored when France had a yellow card, which is an issue. They really struggled. I don't think they did. Or they at least struggled for a very long period. Yeah.
And was it Justin Marshall brought up the fact, he goes, yeah, the issue last year here was after the 60-minute mark, the All Blacks struggled to score. So it's going to be a big test to see what they can do after the 60-minute mark. I think they sort of passed it, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did have a disallowed try during the yellow card, but
and I think France did
score.
Try to come back into the game that last sort of 10 minutes, but the majority of that second half was all sort of one way with those two stats. But yeah, they deserve the win, no doubt. I think they will be concerned about the win and how good France was, considering all the media slander and the build-up to this game. They had a bit of a shock treatment. So
yeah,
do they deserve the win still? 100%, no doubt.
I agree. I think they deserve the win. I think they deserved it by more as well. I mean, there's lots of probably All Blacks 13-plus bettors out there that feel a bit hard done by. I mean, 3 disallowed tries by the TMO absolutely cooks you as a fan. I mean, when you're going back and you're checking all the different things and, it just frustrates you. And I think the third time it happened, I was sitting there on the couch watching it with my mates. And we're just like, are they really going to go back TMO here? And then, of course, they do. And I think it was one of the times Barrett was about to line up the kick and just about to kick it over. And Nick Berry's like, nah, actually, we're just going to check this one out here. Concerned. I think they were never going to take the French lightly, but I think they'd be surprised about how well they did play. So may come into this Wellington test with a bit more urgency about it. I think the first 10, 15 minutes, as expected, we're a little bit rusty at lots of the high balls. We're overrunning, dropping, and they had lots of the territory. So I think, it's just getting those nerves out the way. The first 10, 15 minutes was a little bit on edge, but after that, I think we settled in well. And I think we deserved the win, and we probably deserve to win by 13 or more, would be my takeaway. Who were your standout performers from the game, and who were the top debutants for you as well?
Yeah, I think I kind of already said it, like Bowden Barrett. He was on point. Yeah. He had a really good game. We talked about the importance of his kicking as well. I think Fabian Holland slotted in perfectly. He didn't look like a debutant.
No.
Quinn Tupaia as well was big off the bench. And he put in that significant hit towards the end of the game that dislodged the ball, caused the knock-on, which was massive. So, every other debutant was fine. No issues. I wouldn't say standout games, but solid, very solid performances. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Bowden was a class act, and there were lots of comments straight away on Facebook about how he's still got it, the number 10. And I fully agree. And his kicking won us the game. Because if he's not perfect off
slotting it from the side too.
Yeah.
Rugby league levels.
It also looked like they were barely getting there, but they were. And I just think he was taking it a little bit slow, not trying to pump the leather off the ball, just guiding it over just as much as it needed.
Very funny.
One thing that speaking of kicking off the tee, that French number, was it the 10 that kicked the first penalty, and then the number 9 was kicking from then on?
Seconds.
My goodness, from just over halfway, absolutely launched it. Straight in front, but straight over the black dot as well, with room to spare. He leathered that thing, and then watching him kick the ball in play as well. That guy's got a boot on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, my player, I think Geordie Barrett just slotted straight back in straight away. His running, his ball carrying, it was all strong. His offloading, the options he was taking, I thought he had a massive impact. Obviously, Will Jordan with the 2 tries.
Yeah.
A
very
disallowed hat trick. I mean, he's just a magician. But yeah, I'd say, so you have Bowden as your standout player. I'd say Geordie, and we've got them both covered. Both Barrett brothers.
Never mind Scotty, who went off injured, who was also the captain.
He was a little bit absent, Scott, and I think he
was.
may have got a niggle early, and that probably took away from his game. But I mean, Fabian Holland, as we move to the debutant, I think, I agree. Fabian Holland was the big standout there. He slotted straight in, probably picked up where Scott Barrett was lacking a little bit.
Tupavai was good too.
Tupavai was huge. I was a little bit skeptical about having a lock at 6.
He's had a great season.
He had a massive shift. 60 minutes at 6, 20 minutes at lock. Didn't slow down. He's got a motor on him. Duplessis Karifi off the bench was solid. Ollie Norris, very solid. The one letdown I kind of had was Summer Penny Fina. I just didn't really quite get into the game when he got on. But other than that,
in terms of like what impact?
Just didn't really feel like he impacted the game as much as he would usually for the Chiefs, per se.
Yeah, I still just think about the French defensive effort, and their forward pack was just so good. I mean, they put in double the amount of tackles that we did. What was it, like 220 to 120? Virtually double.
It was huge. They were their shoulders would be very sore yesterday, and it was Sunday and Monday.
I mean, they didn't do themselves any favors kicking the ball away, but they put in a serious effort.
Yeah, big time.
TMO was definitely the main character. I will say that.
TMO pisses me off, man.
Not as bad as that Fiji one.
Oh, that try that Fiji scored. They went length of the field.
That was horrific.
Try awarded. Now we're going to go back to the other end of the field where the Australian player runs out, and the touchy is right there and doesn't call it. And then let's just carry on playing, and then for Fiji run the length of the field.
I think for stuff like that, if you miss it in play, then you got to let it go. You've let a whole
especially when it's 5 minutes down the track.
Let a whole series of gameplay happen, and I don't know. I just feel like if Australia went on to go score that, does that get pulled back?
You'd hope so.
You would hope so.
After what happened, you'd very much hope so.
I just feel like unless it's foul play on, man. The touchy missed it. He was right there. 1 point.
And I mean, human error is a thing in sport.
That also would have set Fiji
up for
they
a win.
lost by what, 4 points?
Yeah, it was
or 3 points.
21-17 or something like that. 22-18.
Yeah, so it's upsetting.
It was upsetting. And it's annoying to see. And I mean, there's lots of talks about how rugby is deteriorating as a sport and as a product, and that is part of the reason why. I mean, it's probably 60% of the reason why.
Also, oh man, that Māori All Blacks game versus Scotland over ref to death. Scotland were also being super strange. They were adamant on setting scrums, and then they weren't winning their scrums. They were trying to get a penalty, then they would get the penalty, and then they want to do another scrum because obviously Māori All Blacks had a man down.
Yeah,
at one point 2 men down. And it was about 20 minutes of scrums in the same spot.
Yeah,
and then they eventually get the ball out the scrum, and then they knock it on, and we're like,
yeah, let's have another scrum, lads.
Sick. Great speed to ball. Not, it was terrible watch.
Well, I can't say I did watch it, but yeah.
It's just like, it's an exhibition game, effectively.
You want to put on a good product.
Let them play.
Yeah. What needs to change this week in Wellington, do you think, for the 8
And then they miss a forward pass. How do you miss a forward pass? Where's the TMO then? Non-existent. Trash.
Yeah.
How do you move on? What?
Yeah, what needs to change in Wellington this weekend for the All Blacks?
They need to experiment a little bit, I think. You might as well. You can take Rico Ioane off the left wing.
And put him where?
You can bring Leroy Carter on. You can give Tavatafa Nawai a run. He probably gets a run anyway because of Severi's concussion. I don't know if he's sitting out for the game or not.
Oh, I imagine he would be. It was great.
Leroy Carter can come in. Just experiment a little bit. Nutter was injury cover. Bring him in if you want.
Yep.
Or have Tavatafa Nawai on the bench to come in on that centre where he's most valuable. Give him some game time.
And you said Scott Barrett's out. He's been ruled out for the test.
Yep, the calf injury that he got.
Yep.
So I don't know. You probably have Tupavai
And Fabian Holland.
Fabian Holland in there, and then you can have Finau on the side, or you have Duplessis on the side.
Yeah. Unless they stick with Tupavai at 6 and bring in like a Patrick Tuipulotu or something as your reserve hooker.
I think you really want to start
hooker, lock.
Yeah, put Jordan back to 15. Have DMAC as that cover as well with the bench.
Yeah. I think
Bring in some other wingers.
Jordan was electric on the wing. I mean, he does the same at fullback, but I did like having both him and DMAC back there. Like, we didn't see it very often.
They have a good synergy.
Yeah,
sure.
it was cool to see because usually one of them comes on at, like, if Jordan's at fullback, one of them will come on and you'll have the Bowden the Bowden and DMAC combo.
Yeah.
But we had all three on, and you don't very often see DMAC and Will Jordan working together. And I thought it was pretty good.
And you're not going to bench Geordie Barrett either, because you could have Geordie Barrett as their cover, but I don't see that happening. So I imagine Will Jordan will just go back to 15 and they'll reset.
Reshuffle the wing.
Reshuffle the wings.
Maybe Tavanawa in at centre. I mean, they got to give Billy Proctor another go, but
I imagine Tavanawa comes off the bench.
As a winger?
Centre.
In the centres.
Unless they start him on the wing. But ideally, you see him come on at centre in the second half, I think.
Right. Well, we'll dissect the squad on Thursday when it comes out in our Thursday show. So let's move on to our like it or love it. And the first one I've got, I'm not sure if you'd seen it or not, but I'm not sure what way you're actually going to go on this. Leon Mulder, the stand-in captain for the South African Test side, facing Zimbabwe at the moment, declared his side while he himself was on 367 not out. And when asked why, he said Brian Lara, a legend of the game, his record of 400 not out deserves to be a record. And out of respect for him, he didn't want to have a chance at breaking it, so he declared the side. And I think they've gone on to win the game, and they won it with plenty of time. So he could have had the opportunity to score 400 and not jeopardise the team's result. How do we feel about the declaration on 376 not out?
Trying to look at it now. 367. Not out. 626 for 5. Zimbabwe in their first innings, 170. In their second, it stumps. It's 51 for 1.
Yeah, okay. So they're going to win.
You never know. That's crazy. I didn't even see that. Shit. I don't know. It's very unselfish thing to do. I don't know. Who did Brian Lara score 400 against? Do you know? What was the context?
It may have been Zimbabwe as well.
Let's see. Obviously, I like it. Sure.
Would have you liked to see him go for the record? If he was Australian, he's going for the record.
Against England?
His 400 against England?
Was it?
He had 375.
Jesus.
So Brian Lara had the record of 375, and then Matty Hayden went and broke it and scored 380.
Yeah.
And then Brian Lara went back out there and scored 400 not out.
Yeah, but also I imagine you look at the team and you're like, all right, we're 626 for 5. Like, this game is...
Yes.
It's like, what's the point?
And that's what he said. He's put in the team
Unless you want
first.
to beat that record, and he didn't feel like he wanted to, so it's fine. But it's also like, is that... I don't even know. At that point, it's kind of like when you're up 10-0 in football and then you just stop playing, the referee calls the game off, you know?
And the record's 12-0.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest win in football history is 12-0. And you're a 10-0 and you're like, nah, mercy rule.
Yeah, mercy. Zimbabwe must feel like shit.
Yeah.
You got to feel bad.
I mean,
but at the same time, like, they could have declared at like 400, for example, if they really wanted to.
Oh, they could have declared when he was on 267.
So,
but he's now one of 2 South Africans to ever score a triple century. Him and Hashimamla, the GOAT.
He also could have been bowled out. Like, imagine if he...
yeah.
Why not go to 399, you know?
Yeah.
If he felt that way. So maybe he was tired as well, you know? So I want to sleep.
They were like, just why didn't the team give him like 5 overs, just try send it and try make it? But it's like, also, you don't just want to try send it. You're giving your wicket away at that point.
Yeah, you are.
And if you can walk off the field on your own terms, and you've made the decision to protect Brian Lara's legacy out of respect to the game, fair play to him. I'm all for it. And I mean,
I like it.
Like I said, if he was Australian, he's 100% going for the record. And
also, if you just said Mulder just scored 300 runs for the protest, do you like it or love it? I'll be like, hell yeah, I love it. What a beast!
Well, he
300
did.
runs.
Yeah. So,
Well, he did.
so do you love it or do you like it? In confusion.
I like it because I feel like he was so close to getting 400. You might as well go for a bash.
Yeah. Okay. So you would have liked to see him maybe cross over.
Why not? The Zimbabwe still an international team. It's an international test.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah.
Next one for you. You said you were watching it live, but I had the Broncos come back against the Bulldogs. What do you make of it? Do you like it or do you love it?
I like it from the entertainment spectacle point of view because we were joking about it. And I think my brother had Broncos to win by 13 plus. And he was like, it's going to happen. And they're down 18-0. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then slowly but surely they started creeping back up. Try after try, breakaway after breakaway. And Bulldogs just, after being 18-0 up, didn't have skin in the game all of a sudden. Kikau went off injured. They lost a bit of leadership probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Lockie Galvin being a bit silly goose. And then Bulldogs just turned up in that second half. It's a good watch. Really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Love it.
Love it. Couldn't agree more. I think the NRL entertaining stuff, and I like seeing a good comeback story. I didn't see what they were paying live to win. I would have loved to see what they were paying live to win.
Staggs was big. Walsh was big. Adam Reynolds kicking god still.
He is just a genius with the ball on a string. I swear, every single game without fail.
Karapani decent. Yeah, good game.
Okay, and then my third one for you, you talked about it again at the start, but Nico Hulkenberg. Now, take this in two ways. Do you like it or you love it? He's now broken the longest standing record for amount of starts in Formula 1 without a podium finish. 239 race starts. He got his first ever podium, 19th to 3rd at a wet Silverstone track.
Yeah.
Now, if you asked me that, I would say absolutely love it. But the second part to the question is his first ever podium, he was awarded with a trophy that is made out of Lego. And he said the Oscar Piastri thing, the condescending comment. What do you make of it? Like it or you love it? Nico Hulkenberg, podium.
Yep.
Added with a Lego trophy.
Love it. It's hilarious. He's 37 years old, gets a podium, goes from 19th to 3rd, gets a Lego trophy. His daughter's going to love it. The whole thing's just crack up. It's just funny.
I'm sure they
Such a
must
good
get
story.
something else. Surely.
They'll probably get a decent paycheck as well. Some little bonus in the mix.
Yeah, 100%. But in terms of like,
what an effort, man. 19 to 3rd, Lego trophy. There you go, daughter.
So you really like the Lego trophy?
I love it.
You're all for it.
Yeah, sick.
Now, I wasn't sure. The Oscar Piastri comment did seem a bit weird, eh?
Yeah.
And I think
it felt a bit like demeaning. Like he tried to get him with it.
Oh, do you reckon?
Yeah, like
I would have thought he didn't mean any harm by it, but it just came out as a very condescending.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He probably meant it as a joke.
Yeah, like kind of more having a dig at F1 or Silverstone.
Yeah,
not
after 15 years, they give you a Lego, and he's like, whatever. My daughter can play with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care. Got podium.
I feel like, if anything, it was more of a dig at the F1 rather than Nico.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
Yeah.
Betting for the weekends. Obviously, I had Jay and Dunk on last week. Now, Jay absolutely sold on a 40-20. He did not come up with the 2 legs that he was asked of. He did a 6-leg spider. So we'll go with Dunks. And he had Broncos to win.
Oh.
And Storm 13+.
Oh,
so
that game was way closer than what I thought. That Cowboys Storm. It was like locked up at 18 all.
I think it was way closer than everyone thought.
Wow.
So that didn't quite come through for you there. I had France plus 19.5. And the Māori All Blacks to win 1-12. Unfortunately, their 29-26 loss ruins
They could have won that game.
Yeah.
Also, if they went for points there, does that go to extra time or just ends as a draw?
I feel like it ends as a draw.
Yeah, they went for the glory.
Which is good to see.
It's good to see.
Exhibition match.
It's just couldn't get it done, unfortunately.
My lock was Mark Nawakatinawasi to score at any time.
And
Thanks
he
for coming, $1.94.
Scored twice, I think.
Did he have 2? Oh, good on. Jay's was first scoring play in the test, a New Zealand try. Did not come through. And Dunks was a Broncos win. So 2 out of 3 on the lock department. Now we went 1 out of 3 in the laugh department. I had Yuki Tsunoda first driver retired at $21 because we all agreed on the podcast last week, fuck Yuki Tsunoda. And actually very much backfired because Liam Lawson was the first driver to retire.
Yeah.
So apologies for that. Dunk went again on the Broncos game. He had draw at halftime, Broncos full time. So, yeah.
Well, no.
No.
But Broncos full time, yes.
And then Jay came in clutch with the laugh. He had Max Verstappen's fastest qualifier at $6.
True.
So
And
that
he came
through.
5th at the end of the day?
5th, yep. After spinning out as well a couple of times, and you can never count him out. The ladder challenge, we're back on the ladder. We're climbing the rung again. We had over 55.5 total points in the All Blacks versus France game, which went over. Multiverse, we went 1 of 3. Mark Nawakatinawasi.
Wait, you say over 55.5, that's the line?
Yeah.
They were on the money pretty much then.
So it finished at 58 points. I got on this on the Thursday. The line moved to 57.5. So they were right on the money. The bookies. So.
I think also that South African game, I remember it being around 65 points and it ended up at 66.
So we had 3 of the markets in there. Martin Orkatino to score, Storm 13 plus, and NZ first scoring play try. So up and down weekend. Not terrible, not great, nothing to write home about, but I'm sure we'll try again.
We will definitely try again. Absolutely.
Before we wrap it up, do you have anything for State of Origin? Any final comments on the decider, State of Origin this Wednesday?
Blues team is really disappointing. They've changed bugger all. They needed to make changes. They haven't done much.
Yeah.
Although their comeback in the second half was huge in that second game, they didn't do enough. They needed to change something, and they decided to change nothing. The only thing is like Bradman Best comes in as a reserve. What Connor Watson's doing on that interchange, I don't know. He adds nothing to the game, and he sucks at distributing the ball. Disappointing because he plays really well for the Roosters. Game 2, he was terrible. Deserves a bench. Bring in another backline player, like a Bradman Best, like a Jacob Kiraz, something that gives your attack in the second half a little bit of
spice.
Pizzazz.
Yeah, pizzazz. I like it.
So Queensland looking very scary, unfortunately. Because I did used to like that Blues team, but after game 2, I feel like you need to shift something.
Well, yeah.
If you play bad, you should,
Yeah, and there's so much talent in both sides in the pool that they can collect of.
Yep.
If something's not working, change it. And you've got so many players there to change.
Yep. I think Hammer moves to fullback for Queensland. They've got Josh Papali'i coming in. Scary. They've got Valentine Holmes back on the wing. They brought in Shibasaki. Shibasaki's in form. Like, why have the Blues not brought in any informed players? I just don't.
Hammer is going to be scary on Wednesday night. He's just broken up with his girlfriend.
Oh, jeez.
And it could go one or two ways. But
or he's going to be terrible because he was not being a good human being. He was not a good boy. So
I feel
he either plays out of his skin or he plays like trash.
Yeah.
Hopefully like trash, please.
Hopefully for us Blues fans, he plays like trash. All right, well, that's where we'll leave it. Unless you've got a punt on it. I do not.
Up the Blues, I guess.
Up the Blues.
Disappointing. Disappointing up the Blues.
Hopefully they can go 2 in a row, back to back.
Also, how good that it's just gone to game 3 anyway.
Yeah.
Rather than it did rubber. Who cares?
That's what you want. And we will be back on Thursday to have a look at the weekend. New Zealand, France. We'll do it all again.
South Africa, Italy again.
Yep. You keep throwing the South Africa stuff.
It's a waste of time. Like, even the try scorers are paying like $1.10. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, it's the thing is, there's not a lot of punting options, but we will do the dig in and hopefully find a couple winners. We will catch you then.